we need some fanfare. Okay, what's your opinion?
Oh, you don't want me to be the taciturn beer drinker. You want me to say this is wunderbar,
Yeah.
which is totally out of style.
Wunderbar is out of style.
Yes.
But of course, we're back in 1855.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, come on, come.
Is he speaking German?
Yeah, that'll be easier.
I don't use the language of the oppressor.
Okay, no.
Remember, I left.
If you could tell us about what we're drinking here now.
Okay, so this is a beer that was brewed in London on December 6, 1855, and it was brewed. It was essentially contracted for the troops in India in 1855. So whilst the upper parts of the military, the generals and so forth, were drinking pale ale amongst other things, the troops were drinking lots of porter. Almost, I think it was more than 2-to-1 porter to pale ale in India. And this was made at Barclay Perkins originally. Oh, sorry, Barclay Perkins originally, and it's just a very simple beer with lots of hops in it. Basically, there's about 5 pounds of hops per barrel of Goldings and small hops. And then it's pale malt, amber malt, brown malt, and black malt. It's about 60% alcohol.
There's no smoke malt in this at all?
Nope, no smoke malt. Pretty simple, straight up beer, but it's got quite a good complexity to it. And it's something like 65 BUs or something like that.
Oh, 65,
I can't
yeah.
remember. But it's there's a lot of, a serious amount of hops going into this beer. I think it was like 440 pounds for each part of the batch that we did. So,
Wow.
yeah, lots of hops.
Delicious.
Oh, right. No,
Thank you.
Excellent.
Martha, my dear, what do you, I see your lovely outfit here.
It's not very period appropriate, actually.
Oh, no, where is it really from?
I think it's more Regency, which I think is like late 1700s. But, 1850s was like hoop skirts. And as you can see, it's kind of a narrow bar.
Oh, I can understand why then you would wear that. Yeah.
Nobody would be able to move.
So it's appropriate for what you're doing,
It's appropriate
yeah.
for what we're doing, yeah. It's a bit more Jane Austen.
Sorry. Hey, Jim, I need to know about ye old glasses and ye old phone that you seems to be taking pictures with.
The old 21st century still manages to make it into the into the mix. So my apologies to the fine brewers at Barclay Perkins. Did not mean to disgrace thy name with such frivolous 21st century technology.
Wow, okay. Are you from the future or the past that moved forward into time?
I think a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything.
Random audience of people and just wondering why an idiot with a hat is standing in front of them. Excellent. As you know, I've stood right here two other times before, and I've talked about basically English brewing in the 1800s. And I won't bore you too much. But
I'll do.
Okay, all right.
Please.
Please bore us.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, Ron Pattinson, the historian that we work with to make these beers, couldn't be here today. He's actually going to be in New York on Tuesday to do the launch there. It just didn't jive with his schedule this time. But he did a lot of research. I have an entire book written by Ron on the subject of porter. It's called Porter! And it's 800 pages long. And there's a lot of information about porter. And I read that from beginning to end, and there was only about half a page where he mentioned this beer that was porter that was meant to be sent to India. Since then, And because of Ron and the way that he researches things, he spends a lot of time on intemperance material from the 19th century, and he kept on seeing these case studies from India, and they never ever mentioned pale ale. They always mentioned porter. And as he did the research and just started going through Indian newspapers, he found out that, for the most part, the orders for beers down there, the requests for beers down there, were overwhelmingly porter. So the generals, the higher-ups, are drinking pale ale and other things, lots of rum and I assume wine and so forth. But the troops were drinking porter. And it's treated much in the same way as the pale ale. Fermented out, a lot of the sugar's fermented out, and lots of hops go into the beer. This is about just over 4.5 pounds per barrel of hops, which is, I always say this, I'm always standing here saying the same thing. It's a crazy amount of hops. There was a different economy back then, blatantly, because it's really hard to make money on a beer that uses 4.5 pounds per barrel of hops. But these hops, they not only take away from the modern profitability of beers, but back then they were probably a flavor that people quite used to, because out of the 3 beers we're at 4 to 5 pounds per barrel on every single beer that we do. So lots of hops are going in. This is the first time we're able to use a non-English hop, which is a big joy for us, because I felt at one point that I was just going to be using Kent Goldings in this series for the rest of my life. But there's Spalt hops in here as well, and I'm really happy to see them. One of the problems with recreating beers from the past is that most of those hop varieties don't exist anymore. Only the great ones are still around. So you'll see hop varieties that you don't even recognize as hop variety, or you'll see things like Gaza hops. No, I don't know what a hop from Gaza is like, but I would like to know, but I'm not sure they're growing them anymore. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. Martha and I brought this cask back from Yorkshire over the holidays. We packed it into a backpack, and it works that way. And they're perfectly happy to let them go for some reason. Thigstons in North Yorkshire. So this is proper Yorkshire cask. The beer originally was made in London, but a little northern influence in this, so this will be nice. So cheers for everyone who's made it out. I'm sorry I talked so long. This will be interesting, but they're all interesting, aren't they? So I hope you come and say hi if I haven't met you before, or if I have. Either way, I would love to talk to you again. And that's Martha right there. She's the other half. I want to point out the rest behind her is Anya, and Jim's got the green camera, and he's wearing some crazy purple sunglasses. And we thank Max for putting up with this and enjoying this and getting into it as much as we do, because it took good publicans to serve good beer back then. It takes good consumers, takes good brewers. So it's all a partnership. We're all having fun. So that's it. Cheers to everyone.
Cheers.
Yeah.
They said they wanted mine.
I'd be an easy target for you if you were sorting mine.
I saw you my left eye.
Thank you.
I saw you coming.